we are alive now. No, actually, it's a reality that I should not be allowed to die, irrespective of whichever. Of course, I am in support of that reality. Okay, so now the presenter today is Emmanuel Obi Shinaza. Interestingly, is one of the very, very strong and vibrant contributor in this class. So, Emmanuel Obi, you're welcome. Let's hear from you and what you have to tell us about your own view, especially on Socrates, the father of all philosophers, if I may say so. All right, continue.
Okay, Socrates' views on peace and governance. At least we can see a man called Socrates. Okay, it's the picture. Before I go into details of whom Socrates is, as a case of an introduction, I would want to stand here and define some concepts of which you already know before. We know what peace is all about, and we know what governance is all about. And we know peace is talking about justice, fairness, equity, equality in the society. And when we talk about the governance, we know its structure, systemic decisions in which governmental policies implemented. And when we talk about government itself, government is a machinery through which the will of the state is formulated, expressed, and applied. And when we talk about political science, and people will wonder, I know you wonder why I'm defining all these concepts. All these concepts, they intertwine in what we are talking about today. Because you can't talk about politics without having a root background of how it started and why we study political science. And in my own view, it's an academic field of study that focuses on the state, the governmental parastatal, that is a government institution, and as well as the behavior of an individual regarding the politics, how we participate in politics. And when we talk about philosophy, Socrates is a what? Is a great philosopher. When we talk about philosophy, it focuses on the fundamental questions on the values, existence, human existence, languages. Philosophy focuses on how things come into existence. They question. They probe to know. That's why most of philosophers, you see them, they become so inquisitive to know the existentiality. That is for it. And when you talk about politics itself, in my own view, politics I don't know, don't get it twisted, but politics is satanic or politics and demonic. And in the view of Governmant, he said that politics is an inter-class struggle. Who gets what, when, and how? Who gets what, when, and how? philosophers came up with their own definition. Many theorists came up with their own definition. So you as a scholar, you can still come up with your own definition of what politics is all about, depending on your own view. So let's go to introduction to who Socrates is. And when you look at the introduction, Socrates is a Greek philosopher, and he was born from 470/469 to 399 before Common Era. That is when he existed. And he was one of the founder of Western philosophy, and as well, he contributed in ethics, epistemology, and his uniqueness, the unique method he used in political view. He contributed in ethics, of which we know, epistemology, seeking for knowledge. And his view, his contribution, his approach is so unique that we have what we call the Socratic method. And what is that method? How? He probed to know. He wants to know the existentiality of living. How do we come into existence? If you go back to philosophers, you will see the question how we existed. That human being existed from ape. So they want to know. When a problem, when a sin occurs, you in your own view as a common, you will see just the cause of it. What happened in your own idea. But when a philosopher comes into the scene, he will like to know the existence, the root cause of the problem. Not only to know what took place, but the root cause of the problem is what they want to know. So, having known this background of Socrates, and we know what Socrates fought for, what he argued, and on this, his views on peace and governance intertwined with his belief about virtue, wisdom, and the role of what a just society. Intertwined, it has a connection. His views on peace and governance has a connection with his belief on what? Virtue, wisdom, and what? The role of a just society. That will take us to what? Evolution. Evolutionary approach. A just society. A just institution. This view, his view, what Socrates is trying to say here is all about the need to uphold justice, the need to maintain fairness, the need to maintain equity in the society. And furthermore, his write-up, he didn't write the work. It was what? Just a dialogue. Wasn't putting in what? Writing, in documentation. That's why if you go historically, they will tell you that development started from Africa through the Egyptians. But what failed them? What failed them is that there is no proper documentation. That is what failed the Egyptians. Historically, I may be wrong, but according to history I studied, that the development started from Egypt, being Africa. But what failed them is what? Lack of documentation. So in Socrates' view about peace and governance, there is no documentation. So his student, who is called Plato, documented his ideas on peace and governance. And however, he identifies his ideas on peace and governance in three ideas, three concepts. One, peace through inner harmony. That is internal what? Peace. Peace for oneself. Governance by the wise. And justice as the foundation So let's go to peace through inner harmony. When we talk about peace through inner harmony, Socrates believed that peace begins within individual. For him, inner peace was achieved through self-knowledge, virtue, and wisdom. Inner peace, having the knowledge that if you come to look for my problem, I will react. If you slap me, I will slap you, I will not leave you. If that comes to your mind, that whenever you look for someone's problem, the person will give it to you, you will try to maintain peace. First, I want to bring it to individuality before I go to the governance. If you know what you will do to me that is not good, that if I do that, if I repeat that on you, you will feel bad. You will what? Maintain peace. Self-peace. Having knowledge of this, having the wisdom, having the virtue. If you are honest, if all of us being honest to ourselves, if we are being kind to ourselves, if we are being plain to ourselves, we will maintain the peace. That's why, and my question during Peace International program we had, and I asked, in assumption I have peace, and what of others who do not have peace? What should we do? Now Socrates is telling you, in his own view, that they should have knowledge. They should have knowledge, the need to maintain peace. What is that need? When you realize that if you come to fight me, I will fight you back, you will stay on your own. If you realize that if you come to my own line, if you mind your own business, never to act beyond your jurisdiction. Because as an individual, we have what? Jurisdiction. You have your own limit. You don't go beyond your limit. You don't step on my toes. Because if you know that once you step on my toes, I will come back to you, I will not leave you. I will come and step on your own toes. You will what? Maintain your own peace. Citing it in the governance. If the government of today understands the need of the citizens to have self-peace, they will provide the basic necessities of what we have. If government understands the need for a country to have electricity, and once a country have the amenities they want, there will be peace. A country that has series of protests, do you think the country have a peace? A country that do not care for the interest of the citizens, do you think that the country will have a peace? If a government is acting in the detriment of those in power, not caring for the citizens, there will be no peace in society. But if government put in place the necessary things the citizens needed to have, once the government is trying their best to put it in place, the citizens will know, because they are not blind. Once the government is functional, once the government is workable, once the government maintains that equity and fairness, the citizens will have peace in their own side. That a country don't have peace today, that a country is conflicting out of interest or bad governance, is as a result of what those in power. That is causing the what? The confusion, the conflict. Because they fail to provide the citizens what they need. And mind you, that any state, any government that fails to provide the citizens with what they have is considered to be what? A failed state. And in my own view, anybody who is in power, who fails to provide the citizens with what they have, is considered to be a celebrated failure. That goes to the example I stated here. If Emmanuel, Tom, Boone, etc. have self-peace, the environment will be peaceful. Once the government provides us with what we have, good electricity, good hospital, insurance, constructing good roads, giving the citizens an avenue to grow themselves, not being biased in the government, avoid monetization during the election, avoid sit-tight syndrome. What do I mean by that? Sit-tight syndrome. A senator will be in the house for 3 or 4 times. You personalize the leadership like it is your own father's property. And these are things militating against political leadership, both in Africa and elsewhere. You don't see political affairs as your own. Politics, we know, should be a service to humanity, not leaders, the citizens serving the leaders, and that is what we have today. And that's why Socrates comes up with this theory, with this dialogue. And you will see why he condemns democracy and why he stated so. Okay, let's go through governance by the word wise. Governance by what? The wise. Socrates emphasized that the need for governance by knowledgeable and virtuous reader or philosopher kings, an idea developed further by Plato. He criticized the democratic system of Athens as he felt it allowed those without wisdom or moral understanding to hold what? Power. Socrates believed that only those who understand justice, truth, and the good should rule, as they would govern with the best interest of the society in the mind. Example, King Solomon and the ladies. I just want to draw you to the biblical aspect. So, when you look at what Socrates says here, his emphasis on this very thing, you will find out that he condemns what? Democracy. You know why? Democracy allows those people who are not eligible to rule. Democracy opens door for losers. Democracy opens door for the corrupt people who don't have the citizens in mind. Democracy opens room for illiterate people and ignore the expertise, those who study, those who have the wisdom to rule. Because you know the simple part of it is that democracy has been monetized. You may be expertise in your own field. If you go to different countries, they produce different political science, international relations, philosophers, public administrators, those who study the social science, those who should be in that field, the mass communicators. And they leave all these people who are expertise, who are eligible to lead the nation. They will not pick those who are financially balanced, because the system has been monetized. And that is why Socrates condemns the democracy in Athens. That it paved way for people who should not be there. Leadership should be those who are knowledgeable enough, who understand the need to uphold justice, who understand the need to maintain fairness, who understand that the leadership, that governance is meant for the detriment of the citizens, not for your own pocket, not for your own embezzlement. And that's why the country we live in today keep on turning everything upside down. Because the people who are knowledgeable enough are not being allowed to handle the function. For example, if a political science or a philosopher goes to the medical field, what do you think that will happen? What do you think that will happen? Now, because these people that are into these politics we have in around the world, when you see them, you will see. Just go run their background check. You will understand that they do not study this. Because you need to study what you are into. You need to be knowledgeable on what you are doing. It's not only to get training. It's not only to serve the godfathers. And we watch what is happening in the society we live today. The godfatherism being the king of everything. And it's killing the democracy the way you think it is. If democracy do not pay well, let's say for instance, that democracy says that it is only people who are eligible that will come here. Those who are eligible should come to this circle. Those who are knowledgeable enough should come to this circle. Those who study in this field should come to this circle. You will see a situation in Nigeria where an engineer will be given the Minister of Information. Who should be there? Where are those who study mass communication? What is their function? Different ministries we have. They have the field of study. But we see a situation whereby a business person is given a ministry to handle, which has no connection with what he studied. And it keeps on traumatizing the democracy. It keeps on turning everything upside down. That's why things are not workable. Because the leaders who are there are not eligible. Because those who are in place in that power is not in that field. And we keep on making mistakes. And that's why Socrates condemned democracy in Athens, saying that leadership should be those who are wise, those who are knowledgeable. Now let us see the analogy of what happened. All of us, most of us here, we are Christians, and we understand what happened here. When a particular case is brought before King Solomon, two ladies assumed they are prostitutes, and the wife sleeping, the other one killed her child, and turned the other child turned the dead one to the living one, how they just put everything. And when the one that have the child, the living one wakes up, she found out that the child that is with her is already dead. And this case is brought up. It's brought before the Solomon. Why I use him is because he is recognized as the wisest king. And that is what governance, leadership. And now, he used philosophy on them. Since two of you claiming to be the owner of this living child, God, cut this child into two. Give the one, the other side, and give it to the person. And he now waited. He waited to see the reactions of the both sides. And what happened? The one that owns the dead one said, okay, fine, that is good decision to take. And the other one said, no, keep the child. When the child grows up, the child identifies the mother. From there, Solomon known already who owns the child. That is wisdom. How many people in this era can conduct this very difficult situation now? That is question we need to ask ourselves. If this kind of scenario happens in your face, how will you handle this case? Now, what if King Solomon orders kill this child? What will be the fate of the one that owns the living one? And on the other side, if these two people never decided to go to him and fought along the line, killed each other, what is the result? But today, we saw the wisdom he applied, the approach he used on them. This is how governance should be. Every government should protect the interests of their citizens. We saw what happened when the minors were being taken to jail. Is that supposed? Should that work in a developed environment? Many atrocities were being committed and nobody is talking about it. When you talk about it, government come against you. And this is what we see in every day of our life. And when you try to change the system, you will see the cabals everywhere. cannot. And that's why Socrates condemns the democracy. If democracy is structured in the sense that people who are knowledgeable stop monetizing the system. Stop monetizing the system. Let those who are eligible, who are expertise in the field, lead. Regardless the fact they may not have the finance. We don't need the finance. All we need is your knowledge and wisdom to be applied. Application of your diplomacy, application of your knowledge is what we need in the system so that it will be workable, it will be effective to the citizens, it will be beneficially to the citizens, not against or being unfavorable to the citizens. That is what Socrates is pointing out. Just society, upholding justice upon the citizens. So when we go to justice as the foundation of the society, for Socrates, justice is central to peace and good governance. Justice is what? The central to peace and good governance. When there is justice, there is peace. When everyone is treated fairly, there will be peace. When there will be no biasment in the political system of Nigeria, there will be peace. Nobody will come to the street to protest. People will be happy. People will develop their talent. When government start encouraging the citizens, regardless the tribe the person comes from, things will start working out. When government, having known that there is numerous majority and numerous tribes in the system, and you decide on your own to practice confederation, the system will start working. Because every country has a system that is workable for them. Every country has a system that is workable for them. If you practice this system and you find out that is not workable for you, that is not in the favor of your citizens, you change a system that is workable. Justice. He argued that justice is not merely following laws, but involves seeking truth and wisdom. Not only law. We find out today that the law being enacted and established in the political institution is just in the favor of those in leading. The elite. Why the constitution suppresses the masses, the poor masses. It is only the elite have the right to revise everything. And Socrates is not saying that justice should not only follow law, but what application of knowledge and wisdom. There is an issue that is not being enacted in the Constitution that requires intuitive knowledge, that requires critical thinking, that requires diplomatic approach, that requires psychological approach. When the personality in the system does not have what it takes to examine, to properly scrutinize an issue being brought before him, you will see how the case will be handled. Unfairly, that's what you're going to get in return. And that's why he maintained that just rulers, guided by the higher understanding, would create laws and allow with the good of the society. Laws that will be in the favor of the masses, not laws that will be against them. Not where you enact a law and at some point you see that it doesn't favor you because you are in the position you're trying to revise the law. No, Socrates condemned this. He said no. That's why he condemned democracy. Because democracy paved the way for everything, for atrocities, for people who are not eligible to be in the politics. If it were to be that democracy structured its pattern to be the people who are eligible, to be the people who are expertise or professional in that field, believe me, there will be good. There will be something meaningful being produced by the government, being produced by the leaders, see that the rich ones getting richer every day, the poor ones getting poorer every day. Why? There was no justice. People are not being treated fairly. Example, African democratic system. We also what is happening in us. You just say everyday news. We see the drama in Africa. We see the drama in Africa. Are we matured enough to practice democracy? That is a question. Are we matured enough? The people that brought this democracy are mature than us. And they understand the game. Is Africa more mature enough to practice this democracy? Because what we are practicing, I don't really think if it is a democratical system. Because if you look at those people who brought this democracy for us, people who we are looking upward to, you will find out that what they are practicing is very different from what we are practicing. And that's why their system is good. Because they understood what they are practicing. But we, because we are not matured enough in that field, we do not understand that system. And that's why we keep on making mistakes. Because the people who are eligible, the people who studied in the field are being denied to participate in that field. Things start turning upside down. And this is what we see in political system of Africa. In conclusion, Socrates viewed peace as a product of justice and internal harmony. Product of justice and internal harmony. With governance best led by the devoted to wisdom, by those devoted to wisdom and virtue. Today, what do we see? Those who are leading us, are they wise enough? If they are wise enough, why should the citizens keep on suffering? Regarding the fact that we have all it takes, our resources are there. Are they wise enough? Or should we say that this is an intentional act? What we see in our democratic system today, is it the exactitude process the American practices? Yes. That is a question we're going to ask ourselves. The political institution we establish today, is it workable? Is it functionable to the detriment of the citizens? It's a question we need to ask ourselves. When we talk about justice, is there any existence of justice in our political system? When election can be rigged or manipulated, is that justice? Have we done justice to ourselves? All these things is part and parcel of what Socrates keep on hammering. And he held that without these foundations, society would be prone to disorder and conflict. Without the expertise, without those who are knowledgeable in the field, without those who are wise, the system will be prone to disorderliness and conflict. And you ask yourself, what is happening in your own political system? Those ones in there, are they knowledgeable enough in the system? Those ones are there, were they educated in the field? Do they have wisdom? Are they the virtuous one we need to put there for the betterment of the citizens? It's a question left to ask and answer by ourselves. Thank you.
Wow. Okay, this is the time to explain better, and this is time to analyze better. So, who will be the first to ask question?
what Socrates, me, in my own explanation, in addition to what he stated here, is what I meant. It's not his view.
Okay, okay, this example is not from Socrates, from you.
This example is from my own view.
Okay.
I have to.
Well, I wanted to make sure because I know we're on record so that.
No, in my own view. Yeah, having read it, I explained it in my own perception.
Okay, I remember that we treated this class. Oh, you have a question? Okay, go on.
I want to get your view about peace. Some people see war as peace. Okay, so I want to get your view about because I don't think we all want peace, but some people see war as peace. So I want to get a take on that.
Okay, peace in different contexts. You understand? Peace in different contexts. The context you are talking about, if you put it, if you channel it in the military aspect. Now, I want to ask you, there are countries like Russia, you understand? Like Russia, who has been in war with Ukraine. You understand? And America sends the peacekeeping officers over there to maintain peace. You understand? And why do they do so? In politics, in political aspects, war is seen as the last resort. If you want to apply Armstrong effect, it is the last thing you have to do. After application of every other thing, both diplomatically, politically. That's why they sent. They didn't send the soldiers to destroy everywhere. But having seen war over there, to maintain calmness, orderliness, they send soldiers to seize the fire. So you can't seize fire with empty hand. Why there is bomb going on? So with my own perception, America has called Russia to order. Stop this. They would have they may have gone to diplomatic approach over there, but they resisted, and they keep on fighting what they are doing today. That's why America took the peacekeeping officers over there, see it as the last resort they will apply. So before you see any peacekeeping mission officers in any particular country, have it in mind that they have applied diplomatic approach or political approach before the application of that. You understand? Now, you will ask, let me bring it to in individuality. When two persons are struggling for something, remember what I said in politics. It's an inter-class struggle. According to Karl Marx, it's an inter-class struggle. Who gets what, when, and how? That is own view. Some people believe that you can maintain peace through dialogue without going on war. But you ask yourself, if you are trying to maintain dialogue with the opponent, and you don't have it in mind that the opponent is even prepared to attack you during the dialogue, and such a thing happen, how will you feel? Now, let's look into what happened during Biafra Civil War. We We saw in the media when Obasanjo said that he used the Eastern people, region people, to maintain peace in their country, in their state. When he said so, that he used our people to maintain that peace. Now, when you ask Nigeria, why did you go into Biafra Civil War? They will tell you they want unity, peace, progress, that they don't want any part to secede. That's why they measured that war on Southeasterners in achieving what? Unity. And you come to ask, why can't you call these people on a negotiation table and solve this solution before application of this armed struggle? Now, after the war, everybody, the military leader there, who is the one, stated what? Three program, three promises. One, rehabilitation, reconciliation, restructurement. All these three things he promised, none happened. So where is that unity? And those things that happened during that era that caused the Biafra Civil War is still repeating itself, even in worse time than then. So many people, the military aspect sees the maintenance of peace to be an application of force or coercion in the masses. But when you bring it to your own perception, to political view, you will see that we rather prefer what? Negotiation. We rather prefer dialogue than waging war with each other. Because when we start waging war with each other, destruction comes in. Loss of lives and properties comes in. Anarchy comes in. So you as a government that is waging war with a state in you, and you claim that you as a government is protecting the lives and the properties of an individual, why should you applicate war? Using it as a tool to maintain what? Unity and peace. So in military aspect, they believe that peace can be maintained in the measure of application of coercion on the people. Use of force. You understand? But in our own view, we believe that war should not happen. If anything existed in between, there should be what? Dialogue. You dialogue, you iron things out. Say your own view, I say my own view. We adjust things. We make peace with each other rather than going to war. Thank you.
Okay, so Collins, your question? Then contribution in relation to Socrates.
Socrates has said it just like he said it.
What did Socrates say? So what did Socrates say? Socrates has said it. What exactly did Socrates say?
Just like he said,
He said what? Socrates said okay, continue.
people who should be involved in politics should be knowledgeable about it, and should be people who are expertise in the field.
Are you saying that those in Nigeria, they are not knowledgeable, they are not experts in politics?
Most of them, if you check their background, many of them are business people, probably who are into one or two.
So if you are saying that if you're a business person, you're not knowledgeable in politics, that's what
Some
you're
of
saying.
them are not, but because they are financially capable, they have to be brought in to suit.
So it means that those
So
who are not
that
financially
is-
capable are experts in politics. Is that what they're saying?
Most of them, that is what I'm saying.
That those who are not financially capable will be a good politician.
I have not said that.
That is the indication. You are inferring on that.
What I'm saying
Reference.
is people who should be involved in politics should be people that are knowledge, that have the wisdom and
Then
are
I
knowledgeable
now
enough.
ask, does it mean that in your own country, Nigeria, all those who are involved in politics are not knowledgeable? Is that what you're saying?
A lot, many of them are not.
Right? Can you give an example?
Example,
A prominent Nigerian politician that doesn't know anything about politics.
I
And
said
yet
you
he was
don't
in that
know.
position.
Most of them are being brought in by their godfathers.
Okay,
to
so
stay
when they
there.
are brought in by their godfathers, maybe they are now established themselves. So that's why I say give an example because we
Will
cannot.
you be an for example?
Did what?
He was not, as a matter of fact, he was brought in.
Then as he
Yeah,
brought in
I'm
Obiano
of
as a
Lagos.
governor, Obiano as a governor in Anambra State. Currently, okay, you say so Obiano was brought in. Soludo was also brought in.
I'm not saying Soludo.
No, I'm asking.
Even Christy
I'm
was
asking. Brought in.
Yes.
Okay, so now in looking at governance in that state, you mentioned Obiano. Are you now saying that the way Anambra State is now is better than the time of Obiano, who was brought
I'm
in?
not saying it's better. I'm talking about the what.
Because you have to be sure of what I say and support yourself with evidence. Because
That's what I'm
examples you are giving right now doesn't support your aim what you're trying to say. Because Obiano, when he was a governor, wasn't perfect. When Obiano was governor, it wasn't perfect, but many people are saying that he's better than what we see today.
Many, but not all.
Yeah, that's what I said.
That's what I am referring to. What Socrates have said. He
No,
said that
you are you the one saying it, or Socrates saying that? Because you are now saying that you are not inferring that Nigerian politicians are not knowledgeable.
I'm not saying they are not knowledgeable. Most of them are knowledgeable.
Then give me examples.
Some of them are not.
Give me
Some
examples.
of them are
Because if
being
you
brought
cannot,
in. Because we are trying to
if
say.
you cannot give example, it means that you are not so
I'm
strong
trying to
enough.
say, okay, for
Give
instance,
an example.
okay, let me say for instance.
And
what
the
is
example
happening
you
in-
gave now,
What is happening
the
in
example you
current-
gave now wasn't strong enough because you mentioned Obiano. Obiano as a governor. Actually, most Nigerians are comfortable with
That's
it.
what I'm saying. We are trying to say people who are knowledgeable enough in the field. He was brought in. At some point, okay, let me use for example.
Because why I'm trying to avoid you going further in this, in my own view, my big error, is because you have to let us be convinced that you yourself saying it actually know what is politics. Because if you don't know what is politics, you might use that your lack of knowledge to define what is politics, to even define who are experts in politics, to even define who are wise politicians. Because you need to know, you yourself as a person is supposed to be sure of the fact that you know what is politics.
You asked me what I understand from what Socrates.
Exactly.
That is what I am explaining.
Yeah, but you are explaining it
said,
in such a way that you are getting things confused or twisted.
I'm not getting it confused. I'm just trying to say he's trying to teach us that those who should be involved in governance and politics should be those people who are knowledgeable enough to be there when some decisions are being taken.
And then I ask you, Nigerian politicians who are currently on the seat, are they knowledgeable or not?
Currently on the seat. If you ask me from my own view, they are not.
Then why? What makes you think so?
Because everything is just going up and down. It's not working the way
So
it
are you
should be.
saying that
It's
during
not
the
a
time
workable
of
government.
Socrates, do you know the history of Socrates? Because yeah, correct, that is the information we need to know. Because if you know the history of Socrates, are you saying that his own time things are wonderful too?
That is why he criticized government increase.
Then if he criticized government in great, is he himself, what did he contribute in the governance himself?
That's what he is saying.
That
He
is
is
why
trying to
that is why the problem is knowledge. You need to get to know Socrates very well, read him very well, understand the background very well. Because the main thing is to know, to get to know. Because I don't have a problem with what they're saying. In my own view, you are correct with what they're saying. But the point is that your ground should be strong enough. Because if you don't know what politics, how can you can say that this one is a good politician or that this other one is expert in politics? But you yourself, because the power to distinguish must belong to the person who has the same elements. For example, if you want to distinguish between Siam University and Bangkok University, you must have been a student of Bangkok University, and then you must have been a student of Siam University in order to give palatable and practical differences. But imagine that you're only a Siam University student and you're a Siam University and not been to Bangkok University and you're now making a distinction. I mean, it may be correct, but the but will be there. So the knowledge to comment about politicians, in my own view, is very, very important that you actually know what is politics first of all. Because when you say that most of them are not how did you put it, are not political enough, or they are not expert enough, you have to show me that you yourself that is saying it, that you have good knowledge of what is politics. Am I communicating, sir? So now let me allow you to land.
So the question you asked me is what Socrates said from his own presentation.
What do you understand?
That's what I've said it, sir.
Yeah.
What I understand is that Socrates is trying to tell us that those who should be involved in governance and politics should be knowledgeable enough so that when they get there, they should have wise decisions.
You're very correct. But the problem is that when you now answer, in trying to answer my question, you now brought in.
It was what you asked me, sir.
Yeah, exactly, because you would have answered it.
You asked me from Nigeria.
Exactly, you would have answered it from the point of view of an instruction, from the point of view of someone generalization, instead of trying to say they are not, or most of them are not, then I ask you to give an example. You see, because in logic, you have to be very, very cautious. I don't think you had any problem with what he said. That you actually analyze what he said very correctly. But in trying to answer my question, you became a boss. You become a dictator of those who are good politicians and those who are knowledgeable or not. That is where we differ. Are you done?
I'm not, sir.
Okay. Innocent, what have you to say?
My take from this presentation is that Socrates view peace as a product of justice and inner harmony. That those in power, or those that want to lead, should be devoted to vision and wisdom. Because without these elements, society and the country go into itself.
Okay, so Steven.
No idea.
No idea again?
Yeah.
So let's get to Dixon. So who? Oh, okay, Emmanuel. Do you have any question for Emmanuel Obi?
Well,
Are you guys scared of him, or just because
my
you're tired? You shouldn't be scared of him, because I'm sure if you are the one that did presentation, he will handle you very well. So try to ask him questions. Make that his seat very hot. Okay.
Okay, first of all, let me start with question, though I have a contribution. So, the question is, by you, Professor Obima. Do you think that his philosophical view on politics works in every nation?
How do we know?
You don't answer.
Now, coming to the philosophical view of what? The philosophical view of Socrates being worked in the whole. Remember, this is his own contribution. This is his own what? Contribution. He contributed that this is the way since the state is making sure, putting everything in place, acting for the interest of the citizens, I will tell you that the state is solely behind this perception. Thank you.
Okay, in my own contribution, I think in some cases, because all you are saying was being centered in Africa, especially Nigeria. Number one, I want you to understand that we all are people from different obedience capacity. So we have our own different ways of handling things. Maybe his philosophical view might work in their own place because of how they reason, how the people view things, but not the same way that we Africans view our own things. Yeah, the system might work over there, but bringing it down to our own system, it may not work. Because an average African man, when you are telling him what to do, or the way to do things, he will tell you, man, does it bring money? Does it bring money? So what am I trying to say is that, yeah, in our own political system, I think trying to link it with other nations, I think we also are trying in some aspects. For example, if you go to inside, maybe you go to, some people, they like comparing Bangkok with, let's say they compare Bangkok with Abia State, Imo State, and other local states. They don't compare with Abuja, but they compare with all those minor states. Asking questions, oh, see what you are seeing in Bangkok, see what you are seeing in Abia State, but they fail to go inside other local village province to know how their own system of government works, to know how their governments are working. Are they really better than us? Go to Abuja if you want to compare Bangkok. You compare Bangkok with Abuja. If you want to compare London or America or these things, you can't compare both of them with our system. First of all, we have different mentality. We have different mindsets. What an American man is thinking is not what the same thing you are thinking. An average man will tell you, oh, this road they are giving, are we going to eat road? Are we going to eat hospital? Give us money, let us eat. Bring food, let us eat. So that is our own psyche. Then, in a system of government, there are many things. They said for you, or for someone to handle a government or a political district, it must be someone who studied this or a professional. No. Governments have a procedure. Remember, politics is different, government is different. When you from politics, you enter into government. You cannot rule a government the same way you are ruling a political party. A government itself has their own public service rule, which a person who is being elected to head a government must follow on that public service rule. And for a sitting governor or a sitting president or senator or whatever, he cannot take a decision without consulting the parliamentarian or the people who he is working with. Remember, if you are a governor, maybe you don't have the knowledge of that or it is not your field, but because people find that interest that, oh, if you are given this position because of your credibility and accessibility, they elect you to handle this position. There are many people. Remember, you have SAs, commissioners. You might not be good in this area. That's why you have a personal advisor or you have assistants, special advisors who advise you on those areas. In terms of economical management, you have a personal advisor or you have an assistant who advise you on those areas. Then when it comes to political view, you also have SA on political matters. You have SA on development and many others. So as a politician or a person who are number one, who is number one, you have people who are advising you on those areas on how to do, and you cannot do without them. So for another thing is you cannot enact a law without going to the due process. Maybe you might do it based on your own, maybe you are having maybe there was a serious urgent need that for you to do what, to give a direct order, then the direct order will go, but it has a limit. Then we follow the procedure. The government has a procedure, and he or she must follow the procedure to do what, to handle a position given to him, because nobody was born to be a governor. So then, the same way.
I have something to tell.
Let's go.
I have something to tell.
I don't know whether you said me.
Am I going to go?
Please go explain. Is he? I think he's challenging your position or something like that.
Just briefly, you're talking about SAs, a personal advisor to this, personal advisor to economy, and all. And have you come to ask yourself, those that are SA, are they expertise in that first? Are they academically inclined to second? Now, let me tell you what leadership is all about. If you are need to take decisions, even with the parliament, go to the history of it.
Are you telling us what leadership is all about from your own point of view or from point of view of Socrates?
The two.
Okay, so you are not an expert on what leadership is all about.
Now, I want to relate it to what you just said now.
Okay.
Because you are saying that without the decisions of the people around you, you cannot do it. That is what happened in Anambra State during the regime of P2. We are not saying that it's perfect, but he took a decision that surprises everyone. When he was forced to build a presidential avenue for the president, that he refused, saying that he has to maintain the one that has been there. And the budget that they brought out was even more than what he expected, and he rejected that. There was an impeachment that went on. And after impeachment, P2 tried to court, won the stuff, and still go back to the position. So when the people around you are taking unwise decision, if you are wise enough, you will debunk it, you will debunk it, despite any other thing. Once the judiciary, take it from me, once the judiciary maintains justice, and you know what you are fighting for, that you are fighting for the interest of the citizens, Nigeria has a court. And if the system is not corrupt, if the system stands to be just, anything that happens in around there that you do not accept because the decision they made is not favorable to the citizens, you are entitled to take them to court. Simple. So for the fact, even the SA, your special advisor, when he brings, are you not saying that every advising being given to you should be accepted because it's coming from an SA? You need to properly scrutinize the kind of advice received from any angle. As a wise man, that is why Socrates is saying that leadership needs people that are knowledgeable and wise enough. When you study, if you study political science, there you study economics, there you study philosophy, there you study psychology, there you study business administration, you study banking and finance there. You have at least a basic of it. There you study statistics. I did it. If you go to my transcript, you see everything there. It's there. I studied philosophy to the 3rd level. So when a decision is bringing to your table, as a wise person, as someone who is knowledgeable enough in that field, you have to properly scrutinize the decision, the advice. You don't just take decisions because my special advisor is giving it to me. No, there's a decision that once they bring it to a table, you debunk it because you are in charge. Why the SAs are there is just to contribute for you. People presumed that you are knowledgeable. People presume that you have the capacity to lead the nation to their expectation, to what it should be. So, are you not telling me if there is a faulties in your leadership, the people will now hold the SAs? No. If the SAs bring a suggestion that is not clearly and concise on you, concise to you, you debunk it. You have the right. You are in charge. Even if the parliament, you as a governor and the assembly decide on what is not clear and concise to you, which you know that it will not be favorable to the citizens you serve, because you are there to serve the masses, you are there to serve the humanity, not the assembly, not the SAs.
Okay, listen. According to, you are taking a negotiation and conflict listing with Dr. Ken. He said, he made mention of characters of is it agencies or what? SAs, they don't give their own decision. They don't give their own order. No, they have to do what? Be closer to the people. They are the ones who are closer to the masses. Then the masses will bring out their own, what they need, then present to the SA. Then the SA will take it to the governor. So, and as a governor or as a president, you are accountable to the people, and you must do what the people need, not what they wrote on the book. Yeah, what you read or what you study political science, that is political, that is another thing. When you come to the field, you learn the real work that is into politics, not this group.
And I put it on you, because of the nomadic system we are practicing, it hasn't given us a room to understand what democratic environment should be. Because we are seeing politics in a different angle. What we played in our environment is not what should be. Because of the kind of system we find ourselves, we could not be able to separate the normality from the abnormality. And the abnormality now becomes the order of the day. It now becomes a tradition that everybody keeps in. Once you fit into the system, you begin to misbehave. You begin to dance to the tune of the confederalism. You begin to dance to the tune of people who put you in that position. Now let me tell you, before you assume that position, you yourself as a citizen have already known what the government should do. That's why Socrates said, it is good for people who are knowledgeable. If you study political science, you study different governmental institutions, how the government needs to function. What is the need of the citizens? Should I provide electricity for them 24 hours? Should I build hospital for them? Should I give the citizens insurance? Should I take care of the old ones? We see how effective the democratic environment of the Western world looks like. The Americans, and you use it to compare yours. So, if you are making a mistake in your democratic system, you don't put it that this is the way it is. No. Nigeria as a country practicing the democratic system is not what America is doing. And we are looking upward to the Western world who brought that democracy to us. Yet, we could not be able to look like them. This is the system we just messed up. This is the system that could not understand what they are practicing as far as political system is concerned. Now, take for instance, we see what happened in American electoral system. Do you see anybody snatching a ballot box? Do you see any fighting?
Did you read any news about it? Even if
I'm asking you, because all of us we are watching how the electoral system looks like, the expanding process of it, how it goes and everything. We saw counted that someone died during this electoral process?
You don't know because
What
they
happened
didn't
in
report
River
it.
State?
That's
What happened in the River State?
Because
What
they
happened?
didn't report it.
We were here. I believe so much we were here when Finland conducted their system, the electoral system. Did you see? No. Did you see where? Did you see where? Wait. Because these are people we are looking up for. The democracy we are practicing today is not originated from us. No, we are not the major people that originated this system. We are given to us. And the people that gave us this system, we do not look at them. Now, for instance, Joe Biden, have you asked yourself why Joe Biden stepped down to Hamaris? Have you asked yourself why Joe Biden stepped down for her? Have you asked yourself, or are we emulating the system that is not going well? When you think that the Western people couldn't go it well, now you will say, they did not do this well. But the positive aspect they are doing, you cannot emulate from them. And this is what we face. In reality, Nigerian system is not okay.
So this man,
Believe me, bro.
So this man, now, if you bring him to Nigeria to become the president of Nigeria,
Bro, believe me, if Nigerian system has not been monetized, we have eligible ones. Those who are capable to handle the system. But what happened? They are not given the room because of democracy, because the democratic environment of Nigeria has been monetized. Those people who can do something there are people who can actively carry on the political affairs of Nigeria, but they were not given the chances of. So what are you talking? In Nigeria, don't you see people who like public administration? In Nigeria, don't you see people who study philosophy, people who study political science? How many of them are being put in the system?
Theology, what did you study?
Have we finished?
Theology, what
No,
did you study?
we don't finish this way, please.
Theology,
We don't
you studied
finish that way,
political
please.
science.
Put your.
You see, he was not one of the worst governors. Many people who studied political science. Then I asked him, George, what did he study?
What failed theology in Ogun State? Can you tell me what and what he couldn't be able to do? And you tell me the recent government, what he did. What failed theology? You say you studied political science, right? And you could not be able to carry on with the activities of the state positively, right? What failed him?
What failed him?
Yes.
Many things.
Okay, do you listen?
Well, when it comes to development, infrastructure, development, infrastructure, delivering the dividends of democracy. Yeah, he did poor on that. Then let's link it to what the present governor is doing today. He didn't study political science. He's just an economist man.
Economics.
Yeah.
It's a social science. Oh.
Then linking it with OKC Bazu. OKC Bazu also was a teacher, was a biochemist, but he did well more than theology that studied political science. So how do you analyze this?
Now, you as a Nigerian citizen, what is your psyche regarding politics?
How do you analyze?
No, now, what is your psyche? What is your psyche? If you're asked how Nigerian politics is being played, how will you analyze it?
Well, I can't answer if you don't answer my one.
I mean, because the system has been designed in such a way that when you come, you embezzle your fund and go. And that's why people still queue up and maintain that system.
So those people you are saying, oh, we need people that study political.
Because the people that study the system the people that study the system weren't the ones who assumed the position right before now. It were for them, they would have maintained that justice. And even you, if you even find yourself in that system, you will still find yourself messing up the system. You know why? Because people around you are not encouraging. The people around you has already designed the system the way it should be.
Okay.
Smith, what is your take on
Any other contribution? Do you want to say anything? Okay.
Give some. Okay. While listening to your presentation, I heard you make mention of Socrates condemning democracy. And to my own observation, I can understand that you are siding here. But I want to ask you something. I hear you say that Westerners doesn't practice democracy and that democracy doesn't work in Africa. Now I want to ask you a question. What does the United States of America practice?
I think you got me wrong. Yes, because I said the Western world we are the ones who originated the system we are practicing today. So the Western world practice was democracy, and when you look at the environment, you see how functionable it looks.
Yeah, and while you were making your presentation, right?
Yes.
You actually say that what they are practicing is far different from what we are practicing.
And you as a Nigerian citizen, can you compare and contrast the democratic system of the United States? Wait, before you bring up that question, because you need to properly examine your own conscience. You understand? According to Aristotle, wait. According to Aristotle, you asked me something. According to Aristotle, he stated, unexamined life, what not living. Unexamined life, what not living. And I cite it in Government. Unexamined leadership, what not carrying along. You understand? Now, when you talk about the comparison between Nigerian politics and United States politics, ask yourself, the way they are voting, is it the way Nigerians are voting? Ask yourself, what brought you in this country? If Nigeria is good, will you be here? The answer is no.
But there are many Americans here.
For tourism. So what is that? What is that? Now when you come in contact with them, our own mindset, our own objective in coming here is to see for greener pasture.
Yes.
They come for tourism. After spending their money, they go back to their country. If someone tell you now, here, I want to take you home to Nigeria, you start bleeding, crying. But tell America that you will go to your country. Yes, you are going to go back to my country because the system is okay for you.
Yes.
Good.
Yeah.
I understand your point, right? So what I'm trying to say is that it's a different environment altogether. Because you said it condemns democracy, right? Now, democracy works for the Western people.
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand?
Mm-hmm.
And we as an Africans, it doesn't work in our country.
So
Because
why do we keep on practicing it since we know it doesn't work for us?
So what do you think
Wait,
is
let
best?
him land.
Can you hold on? What do you think if you are siding it in
Mm-hmm.
the sense that you don't like democracy? So what do you think is best for Africans?
Now let me tell you. Okay, I understand your question. First, before the okay, let's say if you want to analyze political system of any other country, both Nigeria, you have to start the day they gain their independence first. Now, can you can you recall the independent day years ago till now? What has been the achievement of the government? Has it been favorable? We practice paramilitary, whereby we have the prime minister and the president, ceremonial president, who happens to be Dr. Namda Sikiwe, and prime minister being Tafala Berawa. After that, there was a transition, which is what military era, when Chukuma Kadnonzogo, went for coup, and along the line, that is a bloody coup that we understand that. But it wasn't in favor of the Southeasterners. It was to install Obafemi Awolowo because of what the civilian leadership is doing, the embezzlement, the corruption. It was to install that man there. And what happened? What happened in Nigeria? They targeted what Eastern coup because the dominant of the coup were mostly Igbos. Why the objective? They forgot that the coup have an objective to install Obafemi Awolowo in the system. Now they target what? Eastern coup. You understand? And coming to a democratic era, after those military system, and you even find out that the military system is even far better than democratic system now. Because when all these good roads built in Abuja and all the northern parts are during military era, well, during military era, forget about denial of human rights. Forget about all these military denials. If we practice military system, bro, believe me, in 3 years to come, Nigeria will look like America. You know why? Do you know why? If a military person gives you a work to do, you will even be afraid, because once you mess the project up, you will get in for it. And there is an easy smooth. This one is not, let us put the bill to the parliament, the assemblies or whatnot. No, this is a direct working system. I want this contract to you today. Construct this road, it will be done. And the military system gives way to fast development in every political environment. So what we are practicing in Nigeria is not pure democracy if we want to follow the laws of democracy.
Thank you. Thank you.
Has he defeated you? Don't have any other thing to say?
Not that he actually defeated me, right? But I just wanted to get something. He just answered me the fact that Westerners practice what is called democracy, and we Nigerians practice what is called, in the sense that we don't practice pure democracy. It's packaged together. So now to him, he believes it's more better that we practice military parliament rather than democracy. So thank you for that.
But first of all, Emmanuel, you said that the military is better, right? I understand the aid most of you were about. But have you not read about Nigerian history and then what military rule did to Nigerian democracy or even Nigerian leadership? Because to a large extent it appears referring to the first and second and third republic, it appeared that military were more corrupt and were more destabilized in the sense of governance. Don't you know about that?
But what about our economy? Because the corruption we see in the past military is in the recent government now is even more worse than them. We talk about embezzlement. We talk about Abacha embezzling the fund. Have we seen where in a country that they will say the python swallows how many billion?
But you can, statistically speaking, you cannot use it to compare what Abacha did. That the money is still being retrieved.
We are talking about development.
Yes, so
mind you, I said for
you are not suggesting, you are not profiling
I'm
the
not
solution
suggesting
that military is the way out.
I mean, what I said that even said that the military era is even far better than this one.
Okay, then what
I'm
solution?
not saying that we should keep
What
in.
Solution? Because I
Now,
think
the
from
solution
the or whatever, you
the
are
solution, according in accordance with the political system of Nigeria, Nigeria is numerous. One person can't handle Nigeria, and the Nigeria should be confederal, the way United States is. Let everybody if you go to California, they have their own right.
Have you been in California?
If you go to and I communicate with people in California.
Yeah, but because
I've communicated with people.
Because sometimes we get carried away with all these news.
They don't step beyond. I communicate with people in California. With people in
sometimes I also think it's a mindset.
It's not a mindset. This happens.
Yeah, it's
this
because
happens.
The same thing happening.
This happens.
Go to California. You are mentioning.
Yes.
I am sure that your life might be better than most lives there if you dig into it. So the fact, just like Emma said, in every country you have an urban area, you have a rural area. In every country you must have seen a place that is developed more than the other. But the point, it depends on who and who exposes what happened in their own place. Because sometimes I think in our own system also, I would rather say we're too open and we're very honest and sincere in reporting things about us. But sometimes in other countries, I think that's not what we see. Even the country we're in now, we're carried away with Bangkok, development in Bangkok. But if you go to the city, if you go to the villages, you might find out that your village is better than that. But because we are carried up, the more you look, the less you see. It happens in most of the countries. So I am just trying to put that up as in addition to what you're saying. But then let me put it in this way. Can you round up what you think about Socrates? What is Socrates is saying to Nigerians since you are centering on Nigeria? What is Socrates telling Nigerians through your presentation? Can you tell us?
Okay, actually, conclusively, his advice to Nigeria is number one, to uphold justice first.
Mm.
To uphold justice.
Okay,
Now,
so. Mhm.
and another one, to fit in those who are expertise in the field and stop monetizing the system. When there is justice, there will be no monetization of the system. When there is justice, there will be no sit tight syndrome. When there is justice, there will be no embezzlement. When there is justice, there will be no corruption. And this is what Socrates is saying. Let us maintain equity and fairness.
Okay, can we go back? Thank you very much. Can you go back to the starting point of your PowerPoint before we round up? Okay, he was an ancient Greek philosopher, widely regarded as one of the founders of Western philosophy. He lived in Athens from 470 to 469 to 399 BCE, and is best known for his contributions to ethics, epistemology, study of knowledge, and his unique approach to philosophy known as Socratic method. Do you know what is Socratic method?
Yes, that is the method he used in knowing the existence of things.
What is that method?
Approaches.
What is the method?
How does something come into existence? He questions, who are you? Do you know the existentiality of man? And philosophers, according to the philosophical approach, man exists from A.
Okay, now let us not go deeper. But one of the methods, according to Socrates, is that he also tries to, before he asks you about politics, he would like to know what you understand by politics. If Socrates wants you to take him about governance, he would like to ask you questions. What do you know about governance? What do you think is governance? Because according to him, it's a waste of time talking to someone who does not even have a good background of what you're talking about. That is Socratic method, seeking out information, getting something from you, trying to know what you have already within you, so that you will now start from what you don't know. So you will start from the known to the known. From known to known. So that is what part of Socratic method. He doesn't just start talking about embezzlement. He would like to understand what do you mean by what is the concept of embezzlement. As a matter of fact, if you consider my teaching methods, methodology, some of my classmates in those days, they will tell me that I use Socratic method, and that is why in every class, for example, I will say, what do you understand by peace? What do you understand by ethics? And what do you understand by political development? So that is a Socratic method. Trying to get to know someone's understanding of a thing before you start to even talk about it. This is just a summary of it, but there's more to that. Okay, now, he's from Athens, and I ask you, Mr. Emmanuel Obi, you projected Socrates as if he is coming from heaven, and he doesn't come from a society that is broken too. Did you read about the society he came from, and the governance and the government of that particular place he was born, and he was talking the way he was talking? Did you read about it very well?
Actually, I never go deep into it.
Correct. And that is it. Please, some of you that if you want to present, try to get into the lifestyle of the person. And I understand the deeper part of the philosophy he's talking about. You know, this person is talking based on what is happening in their country. Just like some of us are talking now. Just like Emmanuel is talking about Nigeria and all of them. He's coming from what happened in the country. This kind of thing the kind of issues we're having in Nigeria now, that even worse than what happened in his own time. Do you know how he died? They pursued him and wanted to kill him because he was gathering young boys and telling them how to think and telling them how to think critical and trying to let them know why they should think critical. And then the government started pursuing him to kill him because they said he was corrupting the youth. Hello? Collins, are you there? He was corrupting the youth. When you want to do presentation, please do not just go and copy and paste. Do not just go and then go and read deep so that you understand the background of every philosophy. If you don't understand the background, you won't get it. It's a pity that we never had time today because when you guys started coming in, I just felt that we're wasting time, so I started my own lecture. Otherwise, we would have started on time because there's a reason why I gave Emmanuel this topic. Because this topic is not supposed to end. It's not supposed to end in this way, or otherwise we will not get something from there. Because if you don't understand Socrates, you will not understand Plato. If you don't understand Plato, you will not understand Aristotle. If you don't understand Aristotle, there are other philosophers you will not. So I just gave you guys the philosophers to write according to areas I know you do very well. So Socratic method is more than this. So maybe we still have to delve into it. And then again is time. What they were doing in his own time is worse than what we are doing in Nigeria today, Mr. Collins. Please read it. Otherwise we'll redo it again. Because Emmanuel, even though your presentation was wonderful, but more details are not there. I would like to use this presentation before you submit it to PowerPoint. Please try to put more philosophical background and then why he was doing what he was doing, why, how he lived and how he died. Because he was killed for gathering young boys to tell them the truth. And do you know what happened? Where he was prison, he was supposed to have escaped, but he decided not to. Over his dead body. Escaping is just like as if he was escaping from the truth. So he chose to die. He chose to be killed. Are you guys there? He chose to be killed. And that's how he gave up. Even when he was shown the way how to escape, he said no. I stand on what because escaping is just like as if all that he said he had lied. Yeah. So you see the part of your presentation, I don't know how to make it, but please try to do thorough, add that part of the presentation because it's very, very important in everything that we're saying. So, but I believe that you guys understand. That is why he's saying justice and why. Because the people of Athens that time, this thing you see we are doing now in Myanmar, we are doing in Liberia, we are doing in Nigeria, come on. These people did worse than you can imagine. That is the concept I want all of you to also understand. Because whenever we keep criticizing African leaders, we tend to think that Western leaders just came from heaven. It's just a mindset. We were destroyed. We were being made to think like that. Because they are better, because we have been brainwashed. And that's why I'm saying, please come back. That you and I should be the solution. There's no need talking too much. You should be the solution, and I should be the solution. So that is how I will just what I will say about it in relation to what we have just listened from Emmanuel Obi. Okay, so Emmanuel Obi. So let me round up the class. You can stay. You can leave the. Oh, you can leave it. Okay, so thank you very much, Emmanuel Obi, and for this presentation. So it is good for us to know that we started with Socrates, and Socrates is well known for his philosophy, and politics. And again, in his own time, I would like you to be aware that he was never a person. Some people say he didn't write anything. He didn't write any book. But then what happened is that the people that followed him were the ones that wrote. So it's important for us to understand, just as Emmanuel tried to let us understand. Socrates' view on peace and governance are intertwined with his belief about virtue, wisdom, and the role of a just society. A just society. But do you know what happened after he died? After he was killed? Then the person that will present Plato will tell us more. Because all that Plato wrote was attacking the society because of the way they killed his master. And who is his master? Socrates. So Plato wrote everything that you and I are going through today. Everything that we are battling with today, whether in politics, whether in education, in all fields of life. In all, he gave us a very strong position about life. But among all, he was very, 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 very serious about the republic. The republic we are talking about the people, about democracy, about the leadership. They were all targeting to the people. So which means that it's the nature of man. It didn't start today. It didn't end today. So when you start to criticize your government, just try to ask yourself, what is the solution? When you criticize, we are talking about the government, you and I, in my own view, should be the solution. And what is the solution for Socrates? That's why he wrote, and that's why he was saying everything he was saying. He became the solution. And what is the solution? The solution is this democracy we are talking about. The solution is the kind of governance we are talking about. They wrote it. They push it to the world. And that's what we embraced. And that's why we say it's not good for Africa. Some people say it's not good for Africa because it's coming from the Western world. Probably there should supposed to be a different kind of governance or government or leadership in Africa. But don't forget that they were the solution. Instead of condemning all that the people were doing, they provide a solution. Someone will tell us about Plato. Plato provided a solution. Someone will tell us about Aristotle. Aristotle gave the world a solution, in my own view. Someone will talk about John Locke. Someone will talk about Thomas Hobbes. Someone will talk about Rousseau. What are you talking about in all this? Smith, somebody will talk about Smith. Someone will talk about Hegel. And someone will talk about Karl Marx. Those people gave solution, haven't seen what was happening in their society. The problem now is, what is your own solution? Because you cannot say there's no solution. You cannot say because of this, because of that, but there's nothing to talk about. So you and I, in my own view, you and I, we are the solution. And we start it now. And we start it in our daily life and activities right now. And we will start it the way we live our life on a daily basis. And we will start it, what do we know? Even all of us in this class. How do we get information? How do we critically look at information? Maybe there's a position in a newspaper. You just grasp it and holding it like that with that critical view about it. Do you read a lot? Because you can't just claim to be a student. You stay in Thailand, Calaban, you stay in Thailand, jumping from one person to another, from one Thai woman to another, or if not Thai woman, then whichever way you jump. That is no solution. You can't even come out from your room, you're not well dressed and you're looking dirty. Some of us will smell. Is that the solution? A lot of problems are there, whether in your country or in Thailand. They even Thai people. Go and talk to Thai people, they will tell you, they will even tell you that there are so many problems they're having. This is the Thai people. But the question is that you and I, what is the solution? We cannot say there's no solution. It's not possible. So let's learn from Emmanuel Obey's presentation today. And he made a very powerful kind of suggestion, as he said, peace through inner harmony. governance by the wise, justice as the foundation. And Emmanuel, according to him, look at how he put it. He says, he's not an example. If Emmanuel, Tom, or Boone, etc., have a self-peace, the environment will be peaceful, which is perfect, and I love that. If you're a peaceful person, you give peace to people. And don't forget, when we started this class, we talk about peace. What's the definition of peace? The definition of peace is what? Justice. You see, it's coming from Aristotle. Justice. Not just the peace and harmony, and not just peace and state of mind. It's also justice to you. Justice to me, that you can't be going about gossiping and talking trash. Justice to you, that I can't be, as a teacher, penalizing you and talking trash against you. Justice to CM University, that you can't open mouth every time what you see in CM University about negative. And justice to you, that CM University should provide an enabling environment for you to reach your educational aspiration. That is what we're talking about. And that's what we're getting from Socrates today. Justice to everybody. Justice to your mom. Justice to your dad. Justice to your teacher. Justice to anybody you gain anything from. Because it's very easy. Especially in the form of some of us, all of us in this class are almost Africans, except 1 or 2 students. Each time we talk, each time we condemn, each time we destroy, and that is what is keeping us underdeveloped. Because we're not talking about ideas. We're not talking about how to share information. We're not talking about innovation. But each time we live together in one room talking trash. We just left to come and live a better life here, hopefully. And yet we still remain in the same conclave, the same one idiosyncrasy, the same one kind of ideology that we don't want to get out of it. In fact, in this case, let me give an example for Nigeria, and let me specifically maintain for Igbos. There is no other country, there's no other people in this country, in this particular country, that will have the kind of association we have in this Thailand. You have this particular village association, you have this particular state association, and so on and so forth. At the end of the day, it is still coming from us. We are still the people who commit crime on a daily basis here. The question is, what do we really discuss when we gather? What do we discuss when we gather? Or we are just decided that we are all criminal association of people gathering together, trying to find a way to support ourselves, and decided all the time not to follow the rules and regulations or the laws of a country we have entered. And tomorrow we are talking about the leaders. By the way, I'm not talking as if I'm an exemption. I have the problem every Nigerian is having. But the point is that Socrates is telling us justice. Justice to the country you are holding its passport, or her passport, whichever way is used to describe. Justice to everybody around you. That's what Socrates is saying today. On that note, I yield back. And I wish you the best of the day. And I do hope that we will leave this room talking about justice and reflecting about justice. So we continue to talk about this in other presentations. We will always link it to Aristotle as well, because he's the starting point. Any questions for today's class? So Smith, Stephen, Shinedu, Mangozi Collins, and Emmanuel. So try to see me privately in case if you have missed any class, because you need to sign in, because today we did 2 classes. Okay, thank you very much for the class. Let's go home. Have it in mind. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Many people who study political science, then I asked him, George, what did he study?
What failed theology in Ogun State? Can you tell me what and what he couldn't be able to do? And you tell me the recent government, what he did. What failed theology? You say you studied political science, right? Mm-hmm. And you could not be able to carry on with the activities of the state positively, right? What failed him?
What failed him?
Yes.
Many things.
Okay, you listen.
Well, when it comes also development, infrastructure, and well, development, infrastructure, delivering the dividends of democracy. Yeah, he did well on that. Then let's link it to what the present governor is doing today. He didn't study political science. He's just an economist man.
Economics
Yeah.
is a social science. Oh.
Then linking it with Okezi Ibazu. Okezi Ibazu also was a teacher, was a biochemist, but he did well more than theology, that studied political science. So how do you analyze this?
Now, you as a Nigerian citizen, what is your psyche regarding politics?
How do you analyze?
No, now, what is your psyche? What is your psyche? If you're asked how Nigerian politics is being played, how will you analyze it?
Well, I can't answer if you don't answer my one.
I mean, because the system has been designed in such a way that when you come, you embezzle your fund and go. And that's why people still queue up and maintain that system.
So those people you are saying, oh, we need people that study political.
Because the people that study the system the people that study the system weren't the ones who assume the position right before now. It were for them, they would have maintained that justice. And even you, if you even find yourself in that system, you will still find yourself messing up the system. You know why? Because people around you are not encouraging. The people around you has already designed the system the way it should be.
Okay. Any other contribution? You want to say anything? Okay.
Okay. While listening to your presentation, I heard you make mention of Socrates condemning democracy. And to my own observation, I can understand that you are siding here. But I want to ask you something. I heard you say like Westerners doesn't practice democracy, and that democracy doesn't work in Africa. Now I want to ask you a question. What does the United States of America practice?
I think you got me wrong. Yes, because I said the Western world we are the ones who originated the system we are practicing today. So the Western world practice was democracy, and when you look at the environment, you see how functionable it looks.
Yeah, and while you were making your presentation, right?
Yes.
You actually say that what they are practicing is far different from what we are practicing.
And you as a Nigerian citizen, can you compare and contrast the democratic system of the United States? Wait, before you bring up that question, because you need to properly examine your own conscience. You understand? According to Aristotle, wait. According to Aristotle, you asked me something. According to Aristotle, he stated unexamined life, what not living. Unexamined life, what not living. And I cite it in Government. Unexamined leadership, what not carrying along. Do you understand? Now, when you talk about the comparison between Nigerian politics and United States politics, ask yourself, the way they are voting, is it the way Nigerians are voting? Ask yourself, what brought you in this country? If Nigeria is good, will you be here? The answer is no.
But there are many Americans here.
For tourism. So what is that? What is that? Now when you come in contact with them, our own mindset, our own objective in coming here is to seek for greener pasture.
Yes.
They come for tourism. After spending their money, they go back to their country. If someone tell you now here, I want to take you home to Nigeria, you start bleeding, crying. But tell America that you will go to your country. Yes, you are going to go back to practicing it. Since we
Wow.
know
Because
it
you
doesn't
have
work
money,
for us.
So what do you
Wait,
think
now
is
let him
best?
like kill and
Can you
shit.
hold on? What do you think if you are siding it in the sense that you don't like democracy? So what do you think is best for Africans?
Now let me tell you. Okay, I understand your question. First, before the okay, let's say if you want to analyze political system of any other country, of any country, both Nigeria, you have to start the day they gain their independence first. Now, can you can you recall the independence day years ago till now? What has been the achievement of the government? Has it been favorable? We practice parliamentary, whereby we have the prime minister and the president, ceremonial president, who happens to be Dr. Namda Sikiwe, and prime minister being Tafala Berawa. After that, there was a transition, which is what military era, when Chukuma Kanonzogo, went for coup, and along the line, that is a bloody coup d'etat. We understand that, but it wasn't in favor of the Southeasterners. It was to install Obafemi Awolowo because of what the civilian leadership is doing, the embezzlement, the corruption. It was to install that man there. And what happened? What happened in Nigeria? They targeted what Eastern coup, because the dominant of the coup were mostly Igbos. Why the objective? They forgot that the coup have an objective to install Obafemi Awolowo in the system. Now they target what? Eastern coup. You understand? And coming to a democratic era, after those military system, and you even find out that the military system is even far better than democratic system now. Because when all these good roads built in Abuja and all the northern parts are during military era, well, during military era, forget about denial of human rights. Forget about all these military denials. If we practice military system, bro, believe me, in 3 years to come, Nigeria will look like America. You know why? Do you know why? If a military person gives you a work to do, you will even be afraid, because once you mess the project up, you will get in for it. And there is an easy smooth. This one is not let us put the bill to the parliament, the assemblies or whatnot. No, this is a direct working system. I want this contract to you today. Construct this road. It will be done. And the military system gives way to fast development in every political environment. So what we are practicing in Nigeria is not pure democracy if we want to follow the laws of democracy.
Thank you. Thank you.
Has he defeated you? Don't have any other thing to say?
Not that he actually defeated me, right? But I just wanted to get something. He just answered me the fact that Westerners practice what is called democracy, and we Nigerians practice what is called, in the sense that we don't practice pure democracy.
Packaged democracy.
It's packaged democracy. So now to him, he believes it's more better that we practice military parliament rather than democracy. So thank you for that.
But first of all, Emmanuel, you said that the military is better, right? I understand the aid most of you were about. But have you not read about Nigerian history and then what military rule did to Nigerian democracy or even Nigerian leadership? Because to a large extent it appears referring to the first and second and third republic. It appeared that military were more corrupt and were more destabilized in the sense of governance. Don't you know about that?
But what about our economy? Because the corruption we see in the past military is in the recent government now is even more worse than them. We talk about embezzlement. We talk about Abacha embezzling the fund. Have we seen when in a country that they will say the python swallows how many billion?
But you cannot,
Yes.
statistically speaking, you cannot use it to compare what Abacha did. That the money is still being retrieved.
We are talking about development.
Yes, so
Mind you,
but you are
I
not
said
saying,
for the
you are not suggesting. You are not profiling
I'm
the
not
solution.
suggesting.
That military is the way out.
I mean, what I said that in itself, that the military era is even far better than this one.
Okay, then what
I'm
solution?
not saying that we should keep
What
in.
solution? Because I
Now,
think
the
from your man
solution
Jose
here,
or whatever, you
the
are
solution, according in accordance with the political system of Nigeria, Nigeria is numerous. One person can't handle Nigeria, and the Nigeria should be confederal, the way United States is. Let everybody if you go to California, they have their own rights.
Have you been in California?
If you go to and I communicate with people in California.
Yeah, but because
I've communicated with people.
because sometimes we get carried away with all this all this news.
They don't
Newspaper.
They don't step beyond. I communicate with people in California. I communicate with people in
Sometimes I also think it's a mindset.
It's not a mindset. This happens.
Yeah, it's
This
because
happens.
The same thing happening.
This happens.
go to California. You are mentioning.
Yes.
I am sure that your life might be better than most lives there if you dig into it. So the fact, just like Emma said, in every country you have an urban area, you have a rural area. In every country you must have seen a place that is developed more than the other. But the point, it depends on who and who exposes what happened in their own place. Because sometimes I think in our own system also, I would rather say we're too open and we're very honest and sincere in reporting things about us. But sometimes in other countries, I think that's not what we see. Even the country we're in now, we're carried away with Bangkok, development in Bangkok. But if you go to the city, if you go to the villages, you might find out that your village is better than that. But because we're carried away, the more you look, the less you see. It happens in most of the countries. So I am just trying to put that up as in addition to what you're saying. But then let me put it in this way. Can you round up what you think about Socrates? What is Socrates is saying to Nigerians, since you are centering on Nigeria? What is Socrates telling Nigerians through your presentation? Can you tell us?
Okay. Actually, conclusively, his advice to Nigeria is number one, to uphold justice first. To uphold justice.
Okay,
Now,
so.
and another one, to fit in those who are expertise in the field and stop monetizing the system. When there is justice, there will be no monetization of the system. When there is justice, there will be no sit-tight syndrome. When there is justice, there will be no embezzlement. When there is justice, there will be no corruption. And this is what Socrates is saying. Let us maintain equity and fairness.
Okay, can we go back? Thank you very much. Can you go back to the starting point of your PowerPoint before we round up? Okay, he was an ancient Greek philosopher, widely regarded as one of the founders of Western philosophy. He lived in Athens from 470 to 469 to 399 BCE, and is best known for his contributions to ethics, epistemology, study of knowledge, and his unique approach to philosophy known as Socratic method. Do you know what is Socratic method?
Yes, that is the method he used in knowing the existence of things.
What is that method? What is the method?
How does something come into existence? He questions, who are you? Do you know the existentiality of man? And philosophers, according to the philosophical approach, man exists from A.
Okay, now let us not go deeper. But one of the methods, according to Socrates, is that he also tries to, before he asks you about politics, he would like to know what you understand by politics. If Socrates wants you to take him about governance, he would like to ask you questions. What do you know about governance? What do you think is governance? Because according to him, it's a waste of time talking to someone who does not even have a good background of what you're talking about. That is Socratic method, sieving out information. getting something from you, trying to know what you have already within you, so that you will now start from what you don't know. So you will start from the known to the known. I mean,
Yes.
from known to the
From
known.
unknown to known.
So that is what part of Socratic method. It doesn't just start talking about embezzlement. You would like to understand what do you mean by what is the concept of embezzlement. As a matter of fact, if you consider my teaching methods, methodology, some of my classmates in those days, they will tell me that I use Socratic method, and that is why in every class, for example, I will say, what do you understand by peace? What do you understand by ethics? And what do you understand by political development? So that is a Socratic method. Trying to get to know someone's understanding of a thing before you start to even talk about it. This is just a summary of it, but there's more to that. Okay, now, he's from Athens, and I ask you, Mr. Emmanuel Obi, you projected Socrates as if he is coming from heaven, and he doesn't come from a society that is broken too. Did you read about the society he came from, and the governance and the government of that particular place he was born, and he was talking the way he was talking? Did you read about it very well?
Actually, I never go deep into it.
Correct. And that is it. Please, some of you that if you want to present, try to get into the lifestyle of the person, and I understand the deeper part of the philosophy he's talking about. You know, this person is talking based on what is happening in their country, just like some of us are talking now, just like Emmanuel is talking about Nigeria and all of them. He's coming from what happened in the country. This kind of thing, the kind of issues we're having in Nigeria now, that are even worse than what happened in his own time. Do you know how he died? They pursued him and wanted to kill him because he was gathering young boys and telling them how to think, and telling them how to think critical, and trying to let them know why they should think critical. And then the government started pursuing him to kill him because they said he was corrupting the youth. Hello? Collins, are you there? He was corrupting the youth. When you want to do presentation, please do not just go and copy and paste. Do not just go and then go and read deep so that you understand the background of every philosophy. If you don't understand the background, you won't get it. It's a pity that we never had time today, because when you guys started coming in, I just felt that we're wasting time, so I started my own lecture. Otherwise, we would have started on time, because there's a reason why I gave Emmanuel this topic. Because this topic is not supposed to end. It's not supposed to end in this way, or otherwise we will not get something from there. Because if you don't understand Socrates, you will not understand Plato. If you don't understand Plato, you will not understand Aristotle. If you don't understand Aristotle, there are other philosophers you will not. So I just gave you guys the philosophers to write according to areas I know you do very well. So Socratic method is more than this. So maybe we still have to delve into it. And then again, is time. What they were doing in his own time is worse than what we are doing in Nigeria today, Mr. Collins. Please read it. Otherwise, we'll redo it again. Because Emmanuel, even though your presentation was wonderful, but more details are not there. I would like to use this presentation before you submit it to PowerPoint. Please try to put more philosophical background and then why he was doing what he was doing, how he lived and how he died. Because he was killed for gathering young boys to tell them the truth. And do you know what happened? Where he was prison, he was supposed to have escaped, but he decided not to. Over his dead body. Escaping is just like as if he was escaping from the truth. So he chose to die. He chose to be killed. Are you guys there? He chose to be killed. And that's how he gave up. Even when he was shown the way how to escape, he said, no, I stand on what, because escaping is just like as if all that he said, he had lied. Yeah. So you see the part of your presentation, I don't know how to make it, but please try to do thorough, add that part of the presentation, because it's very, very important in everything that we're saying. So, but I believe that you guys understand. That is why I say justice and why. Because the people of Athens that time, this thing you see we are doing now in Myanmar, we are doing in Nigeria, we are doing in Nigeria, come on. These people did worse than we can imagine. That is the concept I want all of you to also understand. Because whenever we keep criticizing Africa, criticizing African leaders, we tend to think that the Western leaders just came from heaven. It's just a mindset. We were destroyed. We were being made to think like that. Because they are better, because we have been brainwashed. And that's why I'm saying, please come back. That you and I should be the solution. There's no need talking too much. You should be the solution, and I should be the solution. So that is how I will just, what I will say about it in relation to what we have just listened from Emmanuel Obi. Okay, so Emmanuel Obi, so let me round up the class. You can stay, you can leave the. Oh, you can leave it. Okay, so thank you very much, Emmanuel Obi, and for this presentation. So it is good for us to know that we started with Socrates, and Socrates is well known for his philosophy and politics. And again, in his own time, I would like you to be aware that he was never a person. Some people say he didn't write anything. He didn't write any book. But then, what happened is that the people that followed him were the ones that wrote. So it's important for us to understand, just as Emmanuel Obi tried to let us understand. Socrates' view on peace and governance are intertwined with his belief about virtue, wisdom, and the role of a just society. A just society. But do you know what happened after he died? After he was killed? Then the person that will present Plato will tell us more. Because all that Plato wrote was attacking the society because of the way they killed his master. And who is his master? Socrates. So Plato wrote everything that you and I are going through today. Everything that we are battling with today, whether in politics, whether in education, in all fields of life. In all, he gave us a very strong position about life. But among all, he was very, 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 very serious about the republic. The republic we are talking about the people, about democracy, about the leadership. They were all targeting to the people. So which means that it's the nature of man. It didn't start today. It didn't end today. So when you start to criticize your government, just try to ask yourself, what is the solution? When you criticize, you are talking about the government, you and I, in my own view, should be the solution. And what is the solution for Socrates? That is why he wrote, and that's why he was saying everything he was saying. He became the solution. And what is the solution? The solution is this democracy we are talking about. The solution is the kind of governance we are talking about. They wrote it. They push it to the world. And that's what we embraced. And that's why we say it's not good for Africa. Some people say it's not good for Africa because it's coming from the Western world. Probably there should supposed to be a different kind of governance or government or leadership in Africa. But don't forget that they were the solution. Instead of condemning all that the people were doing, they provide a solution. Someone will tell us about Plato. Plato provided a solution. Someone will tell us about Aristotle. Aristotle gave the world a solution, in my own view. Someone will talk about John Locke. Someone will talk about Thomas Hobbes. Someone will talk about Rousseau. What are you talking about in all this? Smith, somebody will talk about Smith, somebody will talk about Hegel, and somebody will talk about Karl Marx. Those people gave solution, having seen what was happening in their society. The problem now is, what is your own solution? Because you cannot say there's no solution. You cannot say because of this, because of that, but there's nothing to talk about. So you and I, in my own view, you and I, we are the solution. And we start it now. And we start it in our daily life and activities right now. And we will start it the way we live our life on a daily basis. And we will start it, what do we know? Even all of us in this class. How do we get information? How do we critically look at information? Maybe there's a position in a newspaper. You just grasp it and holding it like that with that critical view about it. Do you read a lot? Because you can't just claim to be a student. You stay in Thailand, Calabanti, stay in Thailand, jumping from one person to another, from one Thai woman to another, or if not Thai woman, then whichever way you jump. That is no solution. You can't even come out from your room, you're not well dressed and you're looking dirty. Some of us will smell. Is that the solution? A lot of problems are there, whether in your country or in Thailand. They even Thai people. Go and talk to Thai people, they will tell you, they will even tell you that there are so many problems they're having. This is the Thai people. But the question is that you and I, what is the solution? We cannot say there's no solution. It's not possible. So let's learn from Emmanuel Obi's presentation today. And he made a very powerful kind of suggestion, as he said, peace through inner harmony, governance by the wise, justice as the foundation. And Emmanuel, according to him, look at how he put it. He says, he's not an example. If Emmanuel, Tom, or Boone, etc., have a self-peace, the environment will be peaceful, which is perfect, and I love that. If you're a peaceful person, you give peace to people. And don't forget, when we started this class, we talk about peace. What's the definition of peace? The definition of peace is what? Justice. You see, it's coming from Aristotle. Justice. Not just peace and harmony, and not just peace and state of mind. It's also justice to you. Justice to me, that you can't be going about gossiping and talking trash. Justice to you, that I can't be, as a teacher, penalizing you and talking trash against you. Justice to CM University, that you can't open mouth every time what you see in CM University about negative. And justice to you, that CM University should provide an enabling environment for you to reach your educational aspiration. That is what we're talking about. And that's what we're getting from Socrates today. Justice to everybody. Justice to your mom. Justice to your dad. Justice to your teacher. Justice to anybody you gain anything from. Because it's very easy. Especially in the form of some of us, all of us in this class are almost Africans, except 1 or 2 students. Each time we talk, each time we condemn, each time we destroy, and that is what is keeping us underdeveloped. Because we're not talking about ideas. We're not talking about how to share information. We're not talking about innovation. But each time we live together in one room talking trash. We just left to come and live a better life here, hopefully. And yet we still remain in the same conclave, the same one idiosyncrasy, the same one kind of ideology that we don't want to get out of it. In fact, in this case, let me do an example for Nigerians, and let me specifically maintain for Igbos. There is no other country, there's no other people in this country, in this particular country, that will have the kind of association we have in this Thailand. You have this particular village association, you have this particular state association, and so on and so forth. At the end of the day, it is still coming from us. We are still the people who commit crime on a daily basis here. The question is, what do we really discuss when we gather? What do we discuss when we gather? Or we are just decided that we are all criminal association of people gathering together, trying to find a way to support ourselves, and decided all the time not to follow the rules and regulations or the laws of a country we have entered. And tomorrow we are talking about the leaders. I'm not talking as if I'm an exemption. I have the problem every Nigerian is having. But the point is that Socrates is telling us justice. Justice to the country you are holding its passport, or her passport, whichever way it's used to describe. Justice to everybody around you. That's what Socrates is saying today. On that note, I yield back. And I wish you the best of the day. And I do hope that we will leave this room talking about justice and reflecting about justice. So we continue to talk about this in other presentations. We will always link it to Aristotle as well, because it's the starting point. Any question for today's class? So Smith, Stephen, Shinedu, Mangozi Collins, and Emmanuel. So try to see me privately in case if you have missed any class, because you need to sign in.